A white 14-year-old boy in Massachusetts accused of trying to drown a black youth in a racist attack on Cape Cod. He was released in the custody of his father. Okay, I'm confused here. John Sheeran is charged with attempted murder and assault with a dangerous weapon over the July 19th incident for holding a black child underwater in a racially motivated attack. The alleged victim told investigators another kid was laughing at him and calling him George Floyd as Sheeran dunked him into the water many times. The attack happened after the alleged victim stated repeatedly that he could not swim and needed to wear a life jacket. To run, a lot of people are complaining about the release of this young man because of the serious charges involved here.
Yeah, it's fascinating but not surprising. I know this happened in Cape Cod, and Cape Cod, as we all know, is very wealthy, a very powerful enclave. We don't know if this kid, who his kid's family is. I'm pretty sure people are going to find out. But, you know, we live in America, and if you have money and if you have influence and if you can make your kid look like one of the little rascals and pretend like he's just having some mindless horseplay, of course, a judge in that city is going to give him some leeway. What's sad about this is, what does that say to kids who might be traumatized by situations like this? I mean, just looking at this kid, you can probably tell he's probably very wealthy, you know, probably Richard Throckmorton III or whatever, probably has influence in France. His father probably plays golf with the judge or something like that. We don't know that, but we know that people who are in these silos and people who are in these neighborhoods all know each other. So what does that say about what this kid's responsibility is? What does that say about his accountability as a young man? And what does that say about him? And what does that say about that community if they're willing to allow this to happen? Everybody's concerned about this young man's future. What about this little boy who's been brutalized?
Great points there, Rebecca. And look, we often see these things in cases like this. And again, we know that money talks, but you sitting here going, okay, he's out of jail already. And I mean, literally, he tried to kill somebody.
Yeah, he tried to kill somebody. He's accused of murder. Shouldn't he still be be held? Because when we think about a lot of the components of ending the cash bail system, usually those who oppose that are like, "Oh no, you can't let these dangerous people pending trial back on the streets." So if he's accused of murder, tell me, why is it that it's okay for him to be back on the streets? I want to hear all the opponents of ending the cash bail system explain, why is it okay? Why don't I hear them protesting about this kid, or I'm sorry, this young man? Because if he was black, we will already be calling him a man and he's a terror to society. So this particular young man, he should not be out. And, you know, I agree with Torin. Like, my heart really goes out for the black teenager who is brutally terrorized by him.
Roland, the defense attorney for Kevin Reddington, representing Sheeran, you're going to love this here. He said his client is remorseful and said that Sheeran did not intend to murder the kid, but simply committed a stupid act that went too far.
Remember what I said? I figured that's what they were going to play with. It was like they're going to try to frame this like these were some kids who were playing around in the pool, and then it got out of hand. If you listen to if you look at the transcript of what happened, he made fun of this kid saying he was George Floyd, which is a clear allusion to somebody who was brutally murdered by an agent of white supremacy. These wasn't kids who were dunking each other in a pool and clowning. This was somebody who was deliberately trying to end this boy's life. You can pretend look, I'm getting heated because of this. You can try to frame this however you want to frame it. I know a lawyer's going to do what a lawyer's going to do, but the fact of the matter, these were wealthy kids who saw this young black boy as being less than a human being, and they felt like they could do anything to him. They could traumatize this boy. They could threaten his life. They could risk his life. And they knew that somehow or another there was going to be a system in place that was going to support them. And lo and behold, what we're seeing is a judicial system that's going to look out for this young man more than they are for this young black child. Who's taking care of this young black child? Is anybody giving him any counseling? Is anybody looking out for him? Or is he going to be painted as some sort of aggressor in this situation?